Hey, 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 I'm Amy J, and we're here with Vibe of the Week with my good pal,
Kitty Foss.
All right, so hey, I want to get right to it. A lot of information has already come in. I know Kitty has a lot of information for you. Sorry, this morning there was a lot that came through. When I just first started thinking about doing the Vibe of the Week, a ton of stuff came through. And the first one is they showed me and wanted me to talk about a sunburn. Okay, so bear with me because there'll be relevance to this. But they wanted me to talk about a sunburn and how when you go out in the sun and you get a sunburn and, then you have to care for it and this kind of thing. But this particular sunburn they want to talk about is a soul sunburn. Now, I don't know how many of you out here have been feeling this kind of just unusual energy. I don't want to say weird, but it did feel kind of weird. And things were coming back that you thought maybe, you were done with. And it kind of felt like 2 steps forward, 3 steps back kind of thing. So the sunburn of the soul that they wanted me to talk about was, what happens when we get a sunburn? Well, we go outside, maybe we stay too long, we get too close to the sun. There's just a lot of things that happen to us. So what do we do after? Well, after we have a sunburn, we go in, and if you haven't tried this is just a tip. You put vinegar on. I know it stinks, but you put vinegar on it because it takes the heat out of your skin and it makes it much more comfortable. And you also wear maybe looser clothing so it's not rubbing or irritating it. So basically you take care of yourself after you have a sunburn. The same thing when your soul has been burned. We all have been there. We all have had a soul sunburn. And this past week and maybe some of it into this week, you might be feeling that. It might be starting to come up and it's going to be sore and it's going to be irritated and you're going to maybe kind of relive it. The good thing is, though, that a sunburn fades. And for most people, with the exclusion of myself, it turns into a tan. I just get burnt and it goes away. I don't tan, but it turns into a tan. So the message was, don't never go out in the sun again. Don't ever expose, yourself to that again. But now when you do, there's a couple things you're going to do. Before you go out in the sun again, you're going to take that lovely lotion and you're going to slather all your exposed areas, all your vulnerability of where you could get that sunburn again. Well, that's what the soul sunburn is telling you to protect yourself. Don't just say, I'm never going to do that again. I'm never going to, go out there. I'm never going to put myself out there. I'm never going to engage with this person or that person, or I'm never going to go into something again. I'm going to stay in the dark. No, that's not how you're meant to live your life. So the soul sunburn, when you do go out there, you're going to slather on all that protection to all those vulnerable, exposed areas. But the other good thing about it is you're going to go forth with a new knowledge, a new wisdom that you haven't had before. So whether you realize it or not, whether you've been feeling it or not, there has been some amazing downloads coming and a lot of changes that have been coming to us. And that's why this energy feels weird. And that's why we're going back and we're going forward, because there's all this stuff. You might not even be aware of it, but you will be. Because when you put yourself back out there, protected, you're going forth with that new knowledge and that new wisdom that you didn't have before. And I think that's why they showed me a sunburn. So it's not about not going back out in the sun. Can you imagine never going back out in the sun? never feeling that light and that warmth and that energy you get from it. I can't personally. I'm sure you can't either. So that's what they wanted me to say about the sunburn. That's part of the energy. But good news, it's not all of the energy that I'm feeling. Let me pull the Metatron cards first. I shuffled them beforehand just to save time. But okay. Oh, come on. No, I say that because, well, Metatron likes to give us the same cards. But this is a good one. Chakra, light body. So I know I've been doing a lot of chakra work, and it feels like a lot of chakra work, is in the cards for us. Haha, a little joke there. But because this is where you move out any energy that's stuck or anything that's blocking you to free yourself up so all this beautiful energy can come down and flow through. So chakra energy number 38 for your numerology nuts. No, I'm just teasing.
11.
11. So that feels like that's going to be a part of it, and the self-care. I don't know if I stressed that enough, but when you have a sunburn, you have to do some self-care. So that's another message that you're going to want to do some self-care, and then step out with that protection and that new knowledge. I love this one, indigo, mystery and mastery of life. Look at indigo, and look what I'm wearing today. I have got all this indigo on today. So this is the color, but mystery and mastery. So there are some probably things that are going to come through. They're going to find that you might find a little mysterious, and you're going to have mastery on some parts of your life, but I'm leaning more towards the mystery because this is the new energy, the downloads that you're getting, whether you know you are or not. Most of you probably are feeling them, but they're kind of still a little mysterious to us because we don't know exactly what they're exactly for. So I love that card. And I mean, blue's the color because look, the chakra card and this, and I'm wearing that. Everything's indigo. And then gold, cup of replenishment with the infinity symbol. It's number 16. Look at that. This is where you're headed. You are replenishing your cup, but you're replenishing your cup with new energy, with a newness almost, Like I said, that new knowledge will be brought forth. So when you go back out into the sun, you'll have a new wisdom and you'll have new knowledge, and it is going to replenish your cup. And it's infinite, the infinite symbol. I always love this one because this one to me always just means goodness. It's just good fortune and just peace and all that kind of stuff. Well, then, so the second part of the message I got from Metatron was about the dragon energy. Now, I don't know how many of you relate to the dragon as maybe a spirit animal or a spirit guide. You may have the dragon, but the dragon energy came to me. And the dragon energy can be used definitely for your own, own fire, for your own personal evolvement and that kind of stuff, that dragon energy can be used for that. Dragon energy can be if there's any negativity or something that you're trying to release. Dragon energy can be used for that. Also, I found this interesting, and this is quite pertinent to my life. It can be about amending a relationship with a family member. So that one really kind of hit home with me. Oh, so if you're feeling that dragon energy and it's coming forth or presenting itself to you, some of those things. The other thing with dragon energy is wealth and abundance. That's another thing that comes through for me for the dragon energy. And it seemed like there was one more. Well, I can't think of it. So Kitty, if you got it, or I'll just move on. But seems you can research that too. But But it was funny because I was sitting there in my meditation, and of course you can probably hear I've got a little bit of the sniffles this morning, a little bit congested. And so I, I had a Kleenex setting there, and honest to God, I looked at that Kleenex and did a double take, and then I sketched it out because it absolutely looked like the head of a dragon. And that's when I went, okay, I got some dragon energy around me. I don't know if you're like that, but I will notice things and they will look like something else. And then I know, okay, that's a sign that I've got some dragon energy around me. So if you're feeling that, that's awesome too. And I hope that you are. Okay, a few more cards and then I'm going to pass it off to Kitty. So the Get Spooky Gals really must have been on my mind this morning because I have on my beautiful new crystal necklace that I got from Tina. And I decided to pull a card from Stephanie's deck, the Get Sparked Oracle cards by Stephanie Getz. And they have a beautiful dragonfly on the front, which I absolutely love. And the card that I pulled out was Peace, Love, and Faith. Peace, love, and faith. And look at that. How beautiful is that? And these are all actual pictures that she took out in nature. So how gorgeous is that? Peace, love, and faith. And that's where we're at. You know, even though you might be feeling some of that other stuff coming up and stuff like that, you've got to have the faith. You've got to have the faith that things are going to get better. Use that dragon energy to move you through it and to get excited and get back on track. And then spirit guides. Oh, okay. Your ancestors are coming through, which is always, always a good sign. Because if you think it this way, they know more than you do. And they can actually see more than you do, where you're at on this plane. So the ancestral wisdom, we are your ancestors and we love you. We walk the earth many years before you. We ask you at this poignant time to learn and grow from our past experiences. You are our legacy. That's the part I love about this card so much. You are our legacy. And we will keep on helping you as we continue to evolve here in the spirit world. So this is absolutely beautiful because, when I reach out to my ancestors, I reach out to ones that I've never met or that I'm not even aware of because they're all there. So I just love this ancestral energy. It, to me, is very beautiful. And I know that they're there for me. And I love the part of being their legacy. So when I'm doing things, or if I'm healing something, it's healing them too. So that's just beautiful. And then find your center. This is all about finding your center this week. And oh boy, I love this. This is a really cool representation of find your center. Your outside world is a reflection and a manifestation of what's going on inside you at this time. When the outside world becomes so hectic and stressful that your anxiety starts to overwhelm you, then this is the ideal moment to stop and ask, when was the last time I checked in with myself? Love that. When was the last time you've checked in with yourself? So, with all this weird, unusual, mysterious energy that's coming to us that we're not really sure that we know what to do with, check into yourself, go in. But also, I really want to stress too, don't be afraid to go back out in the sun. Use that dragon energy, push you back out there. So it kind of feels like a little bit of masculine, a little bit of feminine, take care of yourself, but push yourself. Little bit of yin and yang, all of that's mixed in. It's a big bowl and it's all mixed together. And I don't know how this jives with the heavens, but Kitty's going to tell us right now.
Thanks, Amy. It actually is an amazing mesh. And last night I had a chance to do the full moon in Libra. And your card with the chalice is absolutely stunning for that because it had both spirals, the right and left, the yin and the yang, male and female, and it's about the infinity sign, this full moon that happens when you're watching this. It's actually today, and it's at 2:48. And it is all about the Libra balance, but it's also working with Aries, the spark to get going. And have a chance to watch that. But briefly, it's just about stepping back and looking at the parts that I've been healing, what's left to heal, what lessons did I learn from the healing, what things have I brought from my ancestors that are ready now to become part of my life and be released, and all of this new technology, this new energy that's coming forth to us, and that is able to have us mesh them together. This week, word of the week, discernment. Discernment, discernment. I actually looked up from Zabi Barnes, shout out to our seashell healer, what the discernment shell is, and I'll be posting that. And it's a long, skinny spiral. But this week is going to go back and forth between that stepping back and looking, that Libra moon balance and that Aries spark ahead. And as we look at Monday, the moon is still going to be in Libra. We've got Mars, which is the practical power, courage, working well with the moon. We've got Jupiter working with the moon. Monday's a positive outlook day. Look at your dreams, look at what you want to do, start to make some of those plans. Again, this whole week, that self-care, Amy, is so important. Stepping back and knowing that I have to pay attention to all of these pieces because it's not quite clear exactly where I'm going. And on Monday, the moon is squaring the transformation energy. So it could be kind of dreamy and self-deception. So just listening to your instincts. And at 7:02 that night, self-care time, shut everything down. That's when it squares with Pluto, and it's really about taking care of ourselves. On Tuesday.
So that's 7:02 Sunday night, just to clarify?
Monday night. We're on Monday.
Monday night. Okay.
Okay.
I want to write it down. 7:02 Monday night.
Okay. Thank you. On Tuesday, the 30th, happens to be our moonology day, looking at the phases of the moon that night. That's a great day. And for 2 days, we're going to be feeling loyal and activating, curious. Curiosity is the word of Tuesday. It's eccentric, headstrong energy. We're going to be exploring using discernment in our relationships because there's an awakening going in a flip-flop energy with the moon. And the moon has moved into Scorpio at that point, and that's all about transformation. And there's also a square with Saturn. So structures, there'll be a passion about transformation, but at the same time, our structures will be a little bit shaken. So making sure that we're looking at the curious, but being aware, very aware of how this is a day that some of that ancestral stuff will step forward. On Wednesday, the last day of March, we're marching out of March. Busy day. It is a day where the moon in Scorpio is working with Neptune. And so that means you're going to see intuitively. It's a great day to look intuitively at psychic information. It's a dreamy, water's going to be very important on Wednesday, looking at the highest levels, keeping all of our energy at the highest levels, because we've got some squares with the moon, which is Scorpio, and with Saturn. So there could be a chance for some issues with authority. It is also paying attention to the divine masculine on Wednesday. So that's why water is important, because that's the feminine part. Again, we're still working on this balance as we march out of March. We're learning that day. Our mind's going to be going quickly because that Scorpio energy is working with Mercury, our communicator. So it's a practical energy, but not everybody's going to think what you think is funny. Your communication is going to be a little bit different. And then
that happens a lot to me.
And then you've got Pluto working well with the Scorpio, and that's its home planet. So there's going to be this intuitive, spiritual thing. Perhaps your relationships aren't going to be as good. So Wednesday is going to be a day, again, for that discernment. Thursday, we move on. We increase the truth and responsibility because we got the moon moving, coming out of Scorpio, moving into Sagittarius with Saturn. And Sagittarius is always about the truth, so the structure of truth. This is a good day to pursue your goals. And the moon and in Aries, and the moon in Sagittarius and the sun in Aries, it's an overall happiness day. There's a lot of vitality, and it's April Fool's Day, so always watch the laughter that comes on that day. It's a good day to start new things. And that happens to be our first, isn't that our first wine and
Yeah,
spirit?
that's absolutely our first wine and spirits party.
And we'll be talking more about that. On the 2nd, paying attention to your relationships, your social success, you have a positive outlook, that will be where to spend your time, because on self, if you're looking at self, you could be a little bit self-indulgent. Spirit isn't communicating so well with this moon in Sagittarius. So spending time taking care of your relationships, including the relationship with yourself, is going to be an important thing on Thursday. Friday, that moon moves into Capricorn. So we're in its structure. The moon in Capricorn we experienced a lot of things last year with the moon in Capricorn, and it's squaring your communication. So there are good spiritual gifts available because of this square, but at the same time, they're internal. So thinking, it's a mutable energy day. So swooping in and finishing projects on Friday, finishing Friday, just think of it that way. It's a finishing Friday. And because if you start new things, it can become superficial and it will be hard in the communication. So be finishing, tying things up and your imagination is going to be working overtime as you move into Saturday, especially because at 10:37 p.m. Mercury goes into Aries on Friday night, which is sharp and quick-minded, and it can be constructive, but use discernment because it's a tendency to be kind of a smart aleck at that point. So, you'll be quick, but some people may be offended. So again, discernment this whole week, looking at the higher levels. And then next Saturday is the half moon. That's a health watch always in Capricorn. And we have the moon working in partnership with Venus, but it's in a square. So following your instincts, looking at the sensations will be the way you take in information. But that same moon in Capricorn is working with Neptune, and it's an impressive spirit. It's good empathy. It's dreamy. So next week, Saturday, is a good retreat day. It's a good day to go into your 5D, not make a lot of plans, spend it lighthearted. So we kind of go back and forth this week as we go on into April. And so discernment is really because exactly what Amy was talking about, we got all these different energies and we're going to be going in and out of them, and they're higher energies, and you've got new technologies coming in and learning to practice bringing this through. Major life decisions this week, probably not a great week for that, but doing things lightheartedly and working on relationships and slowly going forward. Amy got a message from me this morning about slowly churning the butter this week and stopping to look at it, step back, is it ready? And going on. That really is, that discernment this week is super, super important. So, the stars are with us this week if we're awakened and we're aware.
I love that, Kitty, because really we sometimes don't often, well, some of us, I should say, I can speak for myself, I don't always pause before I react, or pause before I do something, or pause before, that kind of thing. So like with the discernment piece, and it sounds like it's going to be across the board in everything we do this week, it might be that good time to get in that habit of just take that little bit of pause before you say something, or take that little bit of pause before you do that action, just to make sure that that's really what you should be doing. That's kind of what it reminded me of.
What's super important is if it doesn't seem to be going well, believe it.
Yeah.
That's the discernment. This doesn't seem to be the right message for me today. So on like, let's say on the 2nd of April, it's a great day to be doing relationships and stuff. But if one relationship isn't going well, then that's not the day to work on it, because there's that self-indulgent, that's that discernment, just pausing, looking at the butter. Is that it?
Yeah.
Am I ready? And so that's kind of our vibe of the week for that discernment, those higher energies, putting them together, you are stepping back to look at, what am I releasing? What am I, it's kind of the number 11 all week, even though there are a lot of 8s this week too. There's the Lionsgate 8, because on that Libra full moon, it's 8 degrees of Aries and 808 actually of Libra. And
Mhm.
so it is about a balance. It's about the fact that this is the infinity that's moving on. And then we
Yeah.
have all of this Aquarian energy that is wanting us to take care of ourselves, because when we take care of ourselves, we can help in the collective.
Right. No, that's perfect, and perfect for what the cards, the spirit guide cards are. Your beliefs are right for you. So again, that's that discernment piece. You go in, like Kitty said, if it doesn't feel right, it doesn't feel right. Trust your instincts, because your beliefs are right for you. And then set your intentions. Okay. Whatever intentions that you might want to have, set those intentions, but then use that discernment before you set those. Make sure that that is something that you intend to do at that time. Don't be hard on yourself, and don't if it doesn't feel right, like Kitty said, then don't do it. Trust your beliefs and your intentions and your instincts. So
we are still marching forward. All planets are direct until later in April, and so this is about a forward movement. It doesn't all have to be done overnight, though. It just is about, I'm inside, I'm outside, and using all of those things that we have learned from this past year. So
yeah.
I'm Kitty with Intuition of the Soul.
I'm
Namaste.
Amy J. That's the vibe of the week. Thank you for joining us. I hope some of this resonates with you. I don't know how it can't, because we're all been feeling this. But anyways,
we hope to see you Tuesday night at
yes.
8 o'clock with Stephanie Getz from Get Spooky for the manifesting about the moon and the phases, and there'll be a little astrological piece. So if you have your chart and you know your energies, bring them with you.
Oh, it's a great message. So have a great week, and discernment.
Discernment.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye. Namaste.